But yeah, hopefully everyone's doing good this week. What have we been up to, friends? It's good to see everyone. Good to see BLA still rocking that lovely hat with a fedora that you got on. Nice.
It was
You know what hats are?
so bad.
I just like provoking
That's a golfer hat, so
golfer.
A golfer
I just
hat.
love
great to
fucking
see
up the
Arnold
names.
Palmer back on the cast.
What do you think this was?
Damn it.
This was all just a ruse so that you guys would watch the podcast live every week instead of listening to the audio version because you can't see BLA
It's
right
my
now.
hat.
You
Yeah.
can't see the fedora.
He has a nice pirate T-shirt on. What is that in reference to?
Yeah, is
Pirates.
that Assassin's Creed?
Sailing the high seas and murdering people? I guess.
So is that
you
just
made
a
me pick
generic
one
pirate
thing.
T-shirt? That's just it has
Yeah, it
no
really
reference.
is.
It's just you just bought a T-shirt referencing pirates.
Yeah, I've actually had this T-shirt since probably early high school, and I bought like this 4-pack of just like general pirate T-shirts online. And this is the only one that survived.
Good story.
A general pack of
Yeah,
pirate t-shirts.
It was
Something
like
that I've
four
never seen
generic
sold
ass
in my
pirate
life.
T-shirts, and they all had different Jolly Rogers on them. And this was always the coolest looking one. Like it's super over designed. The other one looked like a vampire. I never fucking wore that thing. It was like a vampire skull with like pointy teeth and like jagged ass bones. It was lame as shit. And then like a regular ass one, and then I forget what the other one was. And then this one.
4-pack.
And then this one is the only one that survived, but it's got like holes in it and shit you can't see. But I'm sticking my finger in a hole right now.
It looks like one of those shirts that you would find at Goodwill that if you looked back in the archives, it was something that some kid wore in the 80s at his family reunion and they took a picture and he's just got a pirate shirt on. It's just one of those t-shirts that's really stupid and it serves no fucking purpose.
There's just no reason for it. I mean, I only busted it out tonight because I don't give a shit about any of you. So
There we go. And now we're
this is just one of my many T-shirts that I just would not wear outside at all. Ever.
all right.
I have a lot of
fair
those.
enough. This wasn't supposed to be an indictment of what Nick was wearing, but let's start with you since we started with you. Nick.
We already did.
Yeah, we already really did. So what have you been playing this week or up to?
Man, pretty much. Wow. God, I have a problem.
Guys.
I was like, man, I could finally calm down once I hit 90. Nope.
No.
That's not how this fucking game works. 90 is when everything happens.
That's when the game starts.
Yeah, 90 is when
Sean
you can
has been
actually do
Same.
things.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, we.
I
can-
won. Just FYI, I am victorious. Fuck you all.
Honestly, I think Hearthstone won it more than anyone else. I think Hearthstone is the reason I'm playing this game again. And then my decision to start is kind of what started the chain reaction of everybody else. Because Hex was like, I was talking about it on Twitter a lot, and Hex was like, "Man, that's you're tempting me to come back." And I was like, "This isn't an invitation. I will not be held responsible."
I don't want to play with you. Please do not come back.
No, it wasn't that I don't want to play with you. It was I will not be held responsible for whatever results in you coming back.
Lost
then-
marriages, girlfriends.
More and more people started coming back, and now everybody in KBMOD is playing, and it's
Got a
terrible
whole guild
for
now.
all of us. We have an entire guild that is pretty adequately sized,
We
and
got 57 members
57 members.
yeah,
That's
and
a lot of members.
Half of them are John's alts. Just half of all of it.
the other half is Drake's alts.
Yep.
So we're pretty much actually just 4 people, but no, it's fun. I did my first looking for raid today. Didn't get a goddamn thing, which is annoying because now I can't do that until, well, to be fair, it rolls over I think Tuesday, so it's not too bad. But yeah, the Isle, the Timeless Isle is a fucking nightmare, and I'm not sure if I like that zone or not. I kind of do. So the Timeless Isle is
I'm trying to level a character there because you can actually farm. There's these larvae that hover around these trees, and there's a few packs, and if you have AoE, you can easily farm them and level a lot faster than questing, and I tried to do it today, and it didn't work. There were too many people killing me while I was trying to do it.
Yeah,
It was a no-go.
it's rough Tim's there. It's basically just this island where there's just a shitload of rare spawns, and there'll just be a pack of people basically traveling around as quickly as possible, looking for these rare spawns to drop, just like the currency of the island, as well as like some possible rare items, and you can get epics very easily there. They're low, shitty epics, but they're epics, and they're good like pre-rating gear. So you have a lot of under-geared 90s running around there, and then there's an item that allows members of your faction to kill you. So you'll see people running around, and it makes them like this weird, like see-through bright pink, and you'll just see these like a huge horde of pink motherfuckers just coming towards you that are all in your faction, by the way. So there is plenty of shit talk going on in the general chat of the island, but they'll just sit there in full PvP gear and just farm the shit out of people, just ganking and just being complete dicks. And on top of that, every single mob in this area is so much harder than any other mob. Like it's kind of ridiculous. It's finally something challenging in this game. I went 0 to 90 with basically half asleep the whole time, and all of a sudden you get to the Timeless Isle, and things are pretty harsh. So I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a nice kick in the teeth, better than coffee.
Yeah, I seem to remember before you hit 90, you were starting to slow down. You were like, it's just not keeping my attention anymore. I play for 2 hours, and then I go to something else.
Yeah, and then...
Doesn't sound like that anymore.
When you hit 90,
when I hit 90...
Yeah,
that's
that
when
90 is the
real
key.
game starts.
We had a lot of fun
Yeah.
last night.
We did, yeah.
Yes, we did.
We went around and did a whole bunch of old dungeons, did a bunch of transmog runs, because you can change the appearance of your gear to other items while keeping the stats. So we were looking for cool-looking items, and I didn't really get anything I will actually use, which is annoying. I didn't get the fucking Netherbane axes off of Alar, which is bullshit. I wiped like 4 times to, what's his name, Kale Foss, trying to kill him in Tempest Keep. He's still kind of hard to solo.
Hell, we wiped how many times on that fucking ship in ICC for no fucking
thanks
reason?
to fucking Wolfie.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, we
Wiping that
wiped like 4 or 5 times on that ship
Nah,
because
it was twice. I think we wiped twice.
we had this one problem. Well, whenever you get into the fight, you can jump off the ship and it like teleports you. But I guess it doesn't happen all the time, because one time me and John both jumped off of the ship and we both died, and it wouldn't let us go back. It was being really stupid. I don't know what the requirements are.
The way it's supposed to work is if you fall off the ship, you die. But something happened where Wolfie started the event. We went the wrong way, and John called him a retard for going what he thought was the wrong way. Turns out John was used to the Alliance version where the direction you go is flipped, and Wolfie got insulted that he was called a retard, so he started the event without us. So we tried to catch up, and when we tried to the thing is, you can't solo that event really. I mean, you might be able to. I'm not sure, but so Wolfie starts the event. We like try to run up to where the ship takes off from, and it teleports us to the ship. And then after that, every time you fell off the ship, instead of dying, it would teleport you there. So we couldn't die. But on top of that, like, we couldn't finish what the problem was. But basically, we were at this weird standstill where we couldn't complete the event, but we also couldn't die.
We didn't have the rocket thing to get to the other boat.
Yeah,
That's right. That's
there
right.
you
You
go.
couldn't
Yeah,
equip
the
the
rocket.
rocket. You
Okay.
couldn't equip the rocket jump pack to get across. And the thing is, like, I'm an enhancement shaman. I could get across because I had the goblin racial, but I couldn't tag Muradin Bronzebeard because he still hits really hard. So I couldn't get back, and I couldn't live on the other side. So it was basically all nightmare. We basically just had to sit there for like 15 minutes and wait for the Alliance ship to kill our Horde ship. And then the second time we started it, we were like, this is so fucked up. It's bugged because you keep falling and then not dying. And in order to demonstrate that point, both Mark and John jumped off the ship and promptly died. And they were our only warriors. They were our only warriors who could like tank Muradin. It sucked. It was a real bad time.
It was funny because of how many times that we wiped on it, and then when we did it, it was like a 20-25 second encounter when we did it right. It was the
Yeah,
shortest thing in the
exactly.
world, but we failed it like 4 times.
It was pretty bad. It was. I don't want to ever want to really repeat that. It was real bad. But yeah, that was a fun time. Other than that,
All right.
Cool. All right. It's a lot of WoW. What about you, Brandon?
Not a whole lot. Played some Hearthstone on and off this week. I had as much as I want to play Arena in that game, I'm not good at Arena at all.
That is harsh. It's fucking harsh.
It is hard, and it's so like the 150 coins it costs. It's like,
Yeah.
do I really want to risk this free to play currency when I could just get a pack of cards with this money?
That's my rationale the whole time.
Yeah.
I think the best I've done is like maybe 3 wins, but I cannot get past that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I did one last night, and I only got 2 wins, and each game it was like it wasn't a great deck, but each game I was really close to winning, and like both of my losses were like top deck kind of luck
RNG,
wins.
yeah.
So I was like, oh
that game?
man, but the like ranked and casual's been a lot of fun. I'm still really enjoying it, and I'm actually having a hard time not dropping more money, just because I like the most fun I have with the game is like being a few cards off of a really cool deck, and then in the next pack I get one or two of those cards and I craft the next one and like trying out that deck. So that's been a lot of fun. Just playing a few ARAMs, and I played through I think every ending of the Stanley Parable last
How many are there
last weekend
in that game?
No. There's a lot. I think maybe all but one, because I think actually one I was having trouble getting to work or something. But I played through all of the ones that I could find on my own, and then I went and looked up all the endings, and there were a few of them that I never would have found. And I don't want to spoil it, but a few of them are pretty obscure.
It appears that there are 13 endings.
Yeah.
Team.
Yeah.
It took me a little while to do all of them, but
So what do? You just whatever you find, what decision you have to make to.
yeah,
or whatever for each one.
it's very easy to figure out probably the main, I guess, like 8 endings. They're really easy to see and keep track of, like, all right, I did this and I could have done this, so next run I'll do this other thing instead. But there was one that I don't think I'm spoiling too much, because most people either found it already or don't care enough to go find it. But one of them, you have to get on a desk. You jump up on a chair and on a desk, and then you climb out a window.
Yeah.
And that one is like I never would have found that.
It's because it's got like such a low area that allows you to walk on it. Sometimes you can't even get it to work right.
Yeah, I was actually having trouble getting it to work, and I was like, obviously it's been documented that this is a real ending, but I never would have found it, because it's like if I tried jumping up on it a few times and couldn't get on the desk, I'd just be like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing over there anyway. But yeah, that game is just amazing. Like all the narrative that they recorded for it, and have it being so self-aware of what you're doing, and having like a witty response to all the things you do in the game is awesome. If you haven't played Stanley Parable, obviously we've talked about it before, but I played through all the endings, and it's well worth your 5 or 10 Steam sale dollars. Other than that, that's about it. Watched a lot of CS:GO.
Yeah.
I saw you watch
stuff.
the entire Orange is the New Black in one day. Good man.
Yeah, I was
Worthy cause.
Yeah, I was
a
done
great
with
show.
Breaking Bad, and so I was like, well, I don't really have many shows to watch, so I'll see if Orange is the New Black is any good. I was trying to pick between Orange is the New Black and House of Cards, and I was just like, well, whatever, I'll watch an episode of this. So I watched one episode Friday
Good luck.
night, or 1 or 2 episodes Friday night, and then yesterday I was just at home with Hillary, and I started watching them on the couch, and she got interested in it, and so she was like feeding the marathon with me. I was like, all right, whatever. So yeah, I watched like basically 12 straight hours of that.
Nice.
So that was great.
That's awesome.
I need
You haven't
to
watched
stop
House
doing
of Cards yet either?
No, that's next on my
man.
list. So
You
basically,
better get
so
ready
that's
next
for it.
season, next month too.
Yep.
well, I mean, it only takes a weekend, so
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
that's about it.
We live in the future. Thank you, Netflix. All right, John, what have you been up to? Wow.
Just lots of WoW and lots of CS:GO. Probably actually more CS:GO. I only
Are you
play
playing
WoW when everybody
ranked
else is
in
on.
CS:GO? Or what are you playing? What are you playing? Go?
I just play matchmaking, and
Matchmaking.
occasionally I'll play alt pugs as well. But that ESEA land's got me super hyped, so I'm just gonna play Counter Strike
Yeah,
like
It
I'm
was,
doing right now. I'm just
it
playing
was
right now.
super well
so.
done. The ESEA event was super well done for being like the event itself, at least by appearances, was not
It's
that
very
big
grassroots.
as far as
Yeah, it's
like,
really
it was just
small.
some
It's in a
dudes,
Hilton.
dudes
It's in a
on
Hilton
PCs
hotel ballroom.
in the Hilton, and like maybe 50 people in the audience, if that kind of a thing. Like people who are
It's like
friends
mostly,
with each
yeah,
other.
it's mostly just the team usually. Like, and a few people.
But the production was really good. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I watched a ton yesterday when I basically couldn't move at all. And I think the only thing they could get rid of is they need to not ever have listen-ins.
Yeah,
Ever.
those were a little
Like,
bit
there's
awkward.
no point. There's just
Especially
no point.
every one
Like,
of them was just a bunch of swearing too.
Yeah. Well, there was no point either. Like, there were maybe 3 out of the 50 that I saw that were, like, useful for the upcoming round. Like, them being like, go mid, or, we're going to smoke top because they keep going. Like, it was, the strategy stuff was few and far between.
Well, see, I think the way that stuff works best is if you have it tied in with an instant replay, where you listen in on the instant replay and make it something that's actually worth tuning in for. But that kind of stuff is like, it's cool that you see more and more broadcasts doing different stuff like that, because that's why people like watching sports on TV so much, is that you have instant replays and listen-ins and all this like cool extra stuff that makes you more interested in it. So it's like props to them for trying that out, but maybe a little bit overdone.
And seeing an American team win was good. I mean, obviously Nip wasn't there. Wasn't there some drama or something in CS:GO recently? I don't know. With teams,
There's always drama.
But like with
CS:GO
teams, like
drama.
Counter-Strike.
But anyway, Nip wasn't there, but I think everyone else who's kind of big was there. But the Europeans lost for once, so
Yeah, that's always good for America.
yeah,
always.
like everyone is like all on complexity to be like the top American team, but iBuyPower went through and won the whole thing, and that finals was so good. If you missed the whole thing and only caught the finals, you caught what you needed to watch.
Yeah, it was
to kind of get you hooked. It was fantastic. I think it was like 16-13, 16-11, then 16-14.
16-14. Yeah.
Like it was super tight in the finals, and there were some really great plays. And I still watch that, and I'm, as someone who's played a lot of CS, although not recently, but in the past, it still amazes me to watch really, really good players in that game.
Yep.
Like how they hit all the stuff they hit. Because I think like APL and John are pretty good, and then these guys are just on another.
Unconscious.
Well, the cool thing is that like ops aren't even like a win button in professional Counter-Strike, whereas in like in a pub or in a normal game, someone can just dominate with an op, and you see these guys go toe to toe with the ops with just AKs and M4s, that's the craziest part to me, is that it doesn't matter what gun you have, like it's such an even playing field with whatever they have in their hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was pretty cool, like to see the, and I guess maybe it's the first time I've watched competitive Counter-Strike in depth in a while, but like just seeing them sometimes just abandon even attempting to go after a bomb just to keep their gun, and stuff like that, which is, for those who watch it a lot, you may be like, well, yeah, duh, but to me it was just like, wow, I would never have even thought to do that in that case. But I thoroughly enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, I can't say enough about the fucking spectator client in Go. It's just so well done now.
It's incredible. It
makes it so much better. Yeah. So cool. All right. Who else? Sham, my friend.
Yep. It's been the WoW train pretty much for everybody.
Yeah. All right. I'm just. Is there anyone here who hasn't played WoW besides?
I played other games, but mostly WoW. But
do you mean over our
You got the
lifetime
wifey
or this
playing
week?
WoW, man. Of course, it's playing
I
WoW.
meant this week. This week.
I played Left 4 Dead 2 yesterday on a stream. That was the first time I played that in a few months. That was fun. I played some shit game, Exodus from the Earth, that I did a video of, and I played more of it for a stream.
Nice.
And that game, I don't know what it is with. It's like first-person shooters are probably the biggest genre that you can find terrible games in. And I've just got a shit ton of them on my Steam wish list, and every now and then I'll go and buy some if like a sale is going on.
Oh, I think I watched that. I think I watched that video of that. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
It's got some of the worst
I did watch it.
voice acting ever, but it's really fun to play, even though it's shitty. But It was made by a bunch of Russians, and English was not something that they consulted anybody about. So they have these loading screens that have diary entries on them, and the English is fucking garbage. Like they put words where they don't belong. It's really silly to read. Sometimes it kind of boggles my mind what they're trying to say. It's so bad. But with the WoW thing, I got Allison, my wife, her own account, and we did the recruiter friends. So we've just been abusing the fuck out of that. We leveled up characters to 85, which is when the bonus ends. And then I made her give me grantable levels to a Death Knight, so I'm leveling it, and it's at 87 right now.
I was in the guild, and I just see, I forget what the Death Knight's name is, but I just
Google.
Google has hit level 60, has hit level 70, has hit level 75, level 80, level 85, within like 2 minutes. Just like hit the...
It's amazing. And I'm leveling up 2 more characters to like 45 or so she can grant levels again to those to 85 with more grantable levels when we level up more characters. Like I'm trying to get like 4 or 5 90s. Yeah, like 4 or 5 90s off of recruiter friend bonus.
It's
amazing.
easy to do.
It is. It's 300% more experience. It's ridiculous.
With the launch of Warlords of Draenor, they're going to let you buy level 90s. Like you're just going to be able to pay to level your character straight up, which is good. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. What the fuck does leveling give anybody?
Nobody gives a shit about leveling through all of these expansions anymore. No,
it's but like the amount of 90s that don't know how to play their character now.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point you make.
I can understand, wanting people to play through the most recent content, so I understand that the recruiter friend bonus ends at 85, but no, nobody wants to go through Outland. Nobody wants to go through Northrend anymore. Nobody gives a shit about any of that. It was funny because in Northrend with the recruiter friend bonus, we almost did all of our leveling in Borean Tundra. We were 78 before we left that zone. And then we finished the last 2 levels of Sholazar. Like that bonus is the fucking most massive. And that was before we got into the guild where we could have had even more bonus. I want to know what, like with all heirlooms, with guild bonus and then recruiter 70%. Friend, like how fast you could level that up. It would be ridiculous to see.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Just leveling a bunch of characters, spending way too much fucking time on it. Allison's actually going for the crazy cat lady title because that just screams her. So she's been collecting cats and doing pet battles for a few days now while I've been leveling up some stuff. So that's
She's
basically
been playing the Pokemans.
Yeah, she has.
Yep.
We put more hours into this game than I have in a long time. We put way too many hours into it in the past couple weeks. It's kind of disgusting.
If you have someone to play with, it's so easy to just sink your life into
it is.
WoW.
It's way better.
Yep.
That's why I played so much in college, because I played with my roommate, and so we just sat there playing all day, and feeding off of each other's like enjoyment of the game.
Our playtime, by the time we got our recruiter friend characters to like level 85, I think we just had around 2 days played. I mean, that's 48 hours, and we put that time in there in less than a week. So putting 48 hours worth of your time in less than a week is a lot to put into one video game. It's kind of a stupid amount.
Okay. Right. Am I missing anyone but myself?
Me.
Yeah, just yourself. Oh, wait, Dan. Sorry, Dan.
Me and you. That's it.
Sorry, base Dern. All right. I know you're going to say WoW.
No. We have a different thing to focus on, though. Everyone else has said WoW. I did play some WoW. I'm level 64 on my Paladin. Tanking everything, but although now I finally have people around my level to play with, but I've been mostly soloing it. But I have made a pledge to beat Dark Souls by the time Dark Souls 2 comes out.
Sounds foolish.
So I started playing Dark Souls.
GL.
It is every bit as brutal and unforgiving as you have heard. But I would highly, highly recommend playing it, especially if you're okay with the controller, because I'm not. So it's doubly hard for me. But you also have to get DS Fix, of course, to make the game look not like garbage, because the port is probably the worst PC port that I've ever seen in my life. So, but it is getting used to the controls is the first hurdle. and I'm still not actually used to them. It took me around 10 to 12 attempts to beat the first boss. But every boss is kind of... I wouldn't say... Well, the bosses aren't gimmicky. It's just a matter of, like, there's a pattern to a lot of them, and, you know, everything can hit you extremely hard. The thing that kept coming to mind for me, and John and Brandon would maybe have a little more insight than any of the rest of you, but Scott, having played Counter-Strike at a high level as well, is this game is like soloing a raid in WoW blind for the first time. That is what the game is like, because you have to learn the trash mobs, which are like just regular mobs that take a couple hits. You have to learn what they do, and you'll die to them a lot between bosses. Every time you save in that game, it respawns all the enemies on the way, and you can only save at bonfires. And when you die, you lose all your currency, which you use to level up and also to buy things from merchants that are throughout the game. The game is like the thing I didn't know about the game at all before I started was how open world it is. You can kind of go anywhere. You can choose your own path for a lot of the game. And I ended up going against enemies that I was not supposed to see at all very early, and just got my shit packed.
Very easy to do that.
But, like, let's put it this way. It took me 4 hours of gameplay, like, on Steam, 4 hours of registered gameplay, to get past the first boss and then get a good weapon. And that's like... So I went back today and re-rolled on a different class just to play. Because that game is like crack as well. Like, once you start getting into Dark Souls, you just kind of want to... That's all you want to do is play Dark Souls.
It's a progression game. It's an addiction.
Yeah. It's just like a WoW raid for me. It's just like when I was raiding in a top world guild, like in Burning Crusade. Like, we had to learn the trash in Sunwell and get through that without wiping before the boss. Then you get to the boss and you wipe to that for a while. And then, you know, eventually that becomes easy. So I got past the first boss, you know, in like under an hour today. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, it was a big sense of accomplishment.
Definitely like that learning curve that feels very rewarding.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, well, if you're impatient, don't play this game. Just don't, because you're just gonna get mad. There's nothing unfair in Dark Souls. It's just fucking hard. Like, there's nothing unfair though. And there is nothing more rewarding than beating a boss or like doing something cleanly that you were really messing up on in that game. Like, I don't know, it's the only thing I can compare it to that I've experienced is
sex,
competitive gaming, or
I didn't know where you're going with that.
Or high level WoW is like in gaming is the only thing.
He's never had sex, Scott.
That's true. All those children were born
only rated
petri dishes.
All those children are immaculate.
I'm pretty much going to be playing Dark Souls on stream constantly. So
Dan's kids were legendary drops.
Yep. There's also tons and tons of like, not really secrets, I guess, but quirky stuff in that game that you can do to get ahead or kind of cheat the game a little bit. Like, there's a dragon that's on top of a bridge, and this is kind of well known as far as this game, but you can shoot arrows, like 20 or 30 arrows at the dragon's tail. Killing a boss by cutting off their tail gets you a better weapon than just killing them normally. But you don't even have to fight the boss. You just hit the tail 30 times with arrows and you get the sword. And the sword is super overpowered at that point as well. So I managed to do that on the reroll that I did. But there's stuff like if you kill the first merchant, you get a really good like katana from him. But like you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't even know you could kill the merchants unless you accidentally hit a button probably the first time going in.
I did not know this.
Yeah, you can kill the merchants. You can kill all the NPCs in the whole game.
Oh.
And it can actually screw you if you kill like ones that let you progress forward.
Yeah.
So, and there is an NPC that I believe can res all the other NPCs if you're screwed, but then if you kill him, then you're really screwed. So but you don't know. So there's just all kinds of things where like I would get through a section, and again, the only thing I can compare it to is just like going into a WoW raid blind early on in its existence, because you don't know what anything's going to do. you have no idea what that trash mob is going to do, so you don't know how you should actually fight it. And it is incredibly unforgiving, as people in chat have said. There were these spear guys. They just looked like all the other skeletons. So I was like, oh, I'll just go up and hit them. Hit them, blocked with my shield, 3-shotted me. Just like with spear thrusts. Just like, I was just like, okay. So it turns out you have to like stun them and then hit them. Like, but you won't know that the first time at all. And the controls to me are very difficult to get used to, but that's partially because it's a controller. But they're also a little wonky. But people in my chat, when they were watching me, were like, well, the control's bad. No, they're not bad. Like, they're made how they're made for a purpose. But it's just like, it takes a lot to get used to like locking onto targets and using strong attack. And I don't know. It's super rewarding, though. I think Blacklight, you would like it a lot, I think.
Dark Souls?
Yes.
I played it very briefly. I didn't really get too far into it. I want to say like the second or third boss down. It's really good. I just couldn't get into it for some reason. I probably would get into it if I started streaming it.
Yeah, streaming. Well, here's the danger. Just streaming it, you have to constantly scold your chat and be like, "Don't spoil. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't give me help unless I ask, and I will ask." Because I don't know what anything is. Like that's what I told people, and people were overall very helpful. So that was good, but there will be the assholes that come in and be like, even if you have like in your title, first time Dark Souls player or something like that,
and
there's
like,
some assholes going to come in the chat and be like, dude, you're fucking awful. Like, yeah, I just started playing. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Always helpful.
Any hard game like that is going to be very.
Yeah, if you're into RPGs and you're into like Binding of Isaac, Risk of Rain, very unforgiving hard games. If you were into high level WoW rating, you will honestly like the game a lot. Yeah, that's like it's in my head constantly. That game, like, I've played a lot of WoW, but I'm always thinking about Dark Souls. It's weird.
Do you have to strategize bosses in your head when you're not playing? Think about how you're going to approach it.
Yeah, you definitely do. I came up on the second boss, which isn't even a boss, I guess, but it's like this armored pig that charges you and one-shots you if he hits you.
Yeah, I remember.
I've been trying to figure out how I'm supposed to beat him, so. But that's where I'm at. I'm only about roughly 2 hours into the game if you were playing it at a normal pace, so.
Good guy Dan, not looking up any not cheats, but walkthroughs or anything. Look at you.
Yep. Yeah.
Doing it pure.
Dude.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else? That's your
the
main,
highlight.
The Dark Souls.
Yeah.
The highlight. Cool. I've just been playing League of Legends, so that's all I got.
DJing your face
and DJing a lot. So, yeah, nothing too new. I do need a new. I gotta ask you guys, the fucking show with Kevin Bacon called. It's been on
The
for
Following?
Yeah, The Following. Does anyone watch that? Is it good? Some
no,
people
but
tell
it's
me it's
on
good.
Netflix, and I keep looking at it like I'm gonna watch it, and then I don't.
Didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know.
I saw a poster, and I was like, "Well, that looks like a new show," and they were like, "It's been on for 7 seasons," and I was like, "What?"
What?
I don't know if that's true, but if anyone in the chat knows if The Following's good, let me know because I need something to hold me over until, what is it? Our new Netflix. Kevin Spacey, House of Cards.
Yeah.
Once that drops again. So, The Following, yeah. All right, well, I think we're going to get into, I don't know, well, Dan, where do we go next from here? What is the plan?
Now we take...
We're going to run some ads, obviously.
Yeah, we're going to run 2 minutes of ads, which Brandon will do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hope.
We are running those right now.
Okay. And then we're going to recap the awards and the community choices for those awards. And that won't take very long. And then we're going to look at what games we are all looking forward to in 2014. So we'll have a discussion of that. And what other things. It doesn't have to be games necessarily, but, Oculus Rift, other stuff.
That PC Gamer article is so incredibly comprehensive.
It's dumb. And a lot of them aren't even confirmed. A ton of them are not confirmed.
I know. I wanted to read this, and then I saw it was 12 pages.
I know.
This is like a week ago that I saw that was like, this would be a good thing to just kind of bone up on. And I looked, and it's like 12 pages, and a lot of it is just like sort of just vague stuff that's not really confirmed for this year. And Yeah.
Yep. Actually, Scott, that's the best thing though. If you find a show that's been on forever, because then you can really binge on
That's
that
what
shit.
I don't know why someone told me it was on for 7 seasons. I was hoping it would be, so that.
You want some real nerd shit, Scott? You should watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, the whole thing. It's good. I'm not kidding.
Is it all right? I've never really given Star Trek a chance.
The original is kind of garbo. Like it's got that cult following kind of, because it's so cheesy. It's good. The original Star Trek, but Next Generation is actually super good. So you should watch it.
All right, I'll consider it.
It's obviously nerdy as hell because it's Star Trek, but
nerd shit.
All right, so all you, did you actually run ads just now or no?
It's still running. Hasn't been 2 minutes.
Oh, it's still running.
Yeah, Andrew clearly uses fucking ad block with his comeback.
That's great. That's great, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Andrew.
It's great. Called out.
You lose a lot of skills after working for a show.
Fucking diction.
All right, we're back.
Alrighty. So we're back, and we are going to go over our awards, which finally we completed last week. For 2014, I put up polls, which are now closed, for each of the categories for community votes. They did use the nominees that we chose, but that's okay. So we'll start out. First one, Best Graphics/Technical Achievement. The nominees were Crysis 3, Total War Rome 2, Battlefield 4, and Arma 3. We had a tie, actually. We had Crysis 3 and Battlefield 4 winning this. The community, in an overwhelming 50% of the vote, was Battlefield 4. So Battlefield 4 won. Tells you something. Tells you how good it could have been had it been not buggy as shit, and still buggy as shit. God, DICE, fix your name. But man, it's quite good. So Battlefield 4 won with Crysis 3, Arma 3, and Total War bringing up the rear on that one. And then we had our best live stream game. We chose CSGO for that amazing spec client and the strides that they've made over the past year. And the nominees were speedrunning, CSGO, Dota 2, and StarCraft 2. And we had a virtual tie with the community vote. CSGO with 89 votes won, but speedrunning with 87 votes was second. So 2 votes separate those two.
I wonder if that would have been different if those votes would have been closed before AGDQ.
AGDQ?
Yeah, that's a good
Very
point.
Probably.
Very possible.
Yeah.
League was a
The
distant
recency
third.
effect at work.
Then Dota 2, then Fighting Games, and StarCraft 2. I was able to include a few more choices for people. But we had over 300 voters on most of these polls, so that was cool. So those are the first two. As I said, this won't take that long. Best eSports title. The nominees were League, CSGO, Dota 2, StarCraft 2, and Smite. Dota 2 was the winner for us, although it was pretty contentious between that and League. The community voted CSGO at number 1, with Dota 2 and League in second, third, StarCraft 2 and Smite bring up the rear.
Glad to see our community bends towards FPS.
Yeah.
Yep. I would never have known, given all our YouTube histories and the base of this community. No, Prop Hunt didn't win anything, Tim.
Prop hunt. What the hell?
Competitive.
Competitive prop hunt.
So, best
Be
story.
competitive on YouTube.
Best story. This was a roundtable with me, Nick Fenton, Hex, Diction, and Mark. And our nominees were Gone Home, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, Saints Row 4, and Bioshock Infinite. And we chose Gone Home, although Bioshock was very close to winning that one. And the winner for the community with 63% of the vote was Bioshock Infinite. It was not even close.
Surprised.
Not even
Fucking
close.
sheep.
I bet it comes down to what people have played. I bet more people have played
Community.
Infinite.
Gone Home in
That's true.
second, Brothers in third, Saints Row 4 fourth, and Batman Arkham Origins, I put that on there just for Tim, received a whopping 14 votes. Are you happy, Tim?
And all 14 of them were Tim from various
Yeah,
VPN
various
IPs.
Yep.
Yep.
That VPN voting.
Oh, Talentless Yoda, welcome to the Bro Pile. Thank you for sub, sir. Best indie game. This one is probably the one that is most off from what Hex's panel for this chose. He had Nick Fenton, Renee, Diction, and Gassy on this panel. The nominees were Gone Home, Brothers, Papers, Please, Dive Kick, and The Stanley Parable. The winner was Gone Home for us. And the winner for the community, though, The Stanley Parable in a landslide.
Fuck yeah.
That makes
Stanley
sense.
Parable. Papers, Please in second. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons in third. Dive Kick in fourth. And Gone Home dead last. So the community...
Getting shit on, KBMOD. I'm
Not
glad I
like
don't have that
you
name
gotta
next
have.
to me.
So, all right, worst game of the year.
To be fair, there weren't really any losers. Like, those are all awesome games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Worst game of the year. There are no good games in this list.
No winners here.
So, our nominees were Orion Dino Horde, nominated for the second year in a row.
That's what happens when you re-release, bitch.
Love it.
Ride to Hell Retribution, which won Giant Bomb's worst game of the year. Aliens, Colonial Marines, Day One Gary's Incident, and Infestation Survivor Series, also a second-year nominee under a different name.
Unprecedented.
We chose
Two
Ride to Hell.
repeats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 games up for worst game of the year 2 years in a row. Our winner was Ride to Hell because that game is just a special kind of like, you don't see a game that has 15 hours of content come along and be that awful very often.
I didn't even know it was that long.
It's
I had
fucking
no
real
idea.
long. Yeah, I learned that with Giant Bomb. They were like, it's so long. It's like super long. Our winner was Ride to Hell. The community, however, thought differently. The community has voted in Infestation Survivor Stories. I keep saying Survivor Series because that would be an awesome. So the War Z has won. So
Wow. I'm actually surprised by that one.
not by a whole lot. It was close, but Ride to Hell was second, Aliens third, Day One Gary's Incident fourth, and Dino Horde last. Mainly because Katie Zen voted for a bunch of other games instead of Dino Horde to try to push the numbers up. All right, biggest letdown / disappointment. Our nominees were SimCity, The Official Death of Tribes Ascend, Special Forces Team X, and Aliens Colonial Marines. And the winner for us was SimCity, and we took all of like 9 minutes to decide that. Like,
Yeah.
it was shortest.
Easiest.
And the community reflects that, with SimCity getting 55% of the vote.
Well
Tribes Ascend,
deserved.
Aliens and Special Forces Team X all relatively.
I guess SimCity was like the only unanimous roundtable vote that happened during the entire award. It was so quick
One
how
of the few.
how it came.
We just put stuff in there to discuss, like the other, but we all knew what had won that one.
SimCity's going to be disappointing my future unborn children years down the road. They'll just hear about it and be disappointed.
Yeah.
Fuck that game.
So now to the 3 big ones, the 3 biggest awards. Best single player / co-op experience. We had BioShock Infinite, Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed 4, The Swapper, and The Stanley Parable. And the winner for us was BioShock Infinite, with Tomb Raider and AC4 also getting some votes from members of the panel there. The community, BioShock Infinite in a landslide, 55%. Assassin's Creed in second from the community. Tomb Raider, Stanley Parable, and The Swapper following up after that. But Assassin's Creed, man, it got great press, and people played it and enjoyed it, apparently. So there you go.
That's good.
So, best multiplayer game. Down to our last 2 here. The nominees for us were Battlefield 4, Dota 2, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, and Dive Kick. Dota 2 was the winner for us. Although Battlefield 4 got consideration, the fact that it was a broken thing, and still is, mainly put it down. The community, though, they don't give a shit how broken it is. Battlefield 4 is their top, with Dota 2 in second, Sonic in third, and Dive Kick in fourth. Dive Kick got 2 nominations. I'm pretty happy about that, actually, this year. And then Game of the Year, the biggie. we had 6 nominees: BioShock Infinite, Gone Home, Tomb Raider, Dota 2, The Stanley Parable, and Risk of Rain. And our game of the year was BioShock Infinite. And the community's game of the year was also BioShock Infinite, with Dota 2 in second, Tomb Raider in third, Stanley Parable in fourth, Risk of Rain, and Gone Home, bringing up the rear there. So, there you go. Community did some work. Most of those polls, like I said, had 300, 250, 300 votes on them. So, thank you guys for voting in that. So, the only one was the Hex Run Indie panel. Just completely opposite.
Well, now we don't know which one was right. Was it Hex's panel or the community?
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right. So, we're done with 2013. It's over. The awards are over. We've chosen all that stuff. We've talked about it. Now, let's talk about 2014 and what games and stuff we are looking forward to. I guess
I would love to tell you that, but there's no option to make this PC Gamer article one page, so
yeah.
I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you in a half hour.
I just put it in there because it's got such a comprehensive list. Let me talk about a game that
I just want The Division.
The Division is a huge one for me as well. That game, once it was announced for PC, I was like no longer even considering a new console after that, because that was the game. So we'll see if it comes out in 2014. There's no guarantees. I think it probably will, though. Like fall time. I'll tell you a game that's fallen off my radar completely is Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
I just don't care anymore.
No, I was really hyped for Watch Dogs, and then the delays, and I don't know. I was just like, eh.
Well, they kind of fell off
I'm sure
the hype train.
We'll get hype again, though, soon. I don't know. I think there's still hope.
I can only have my heart broken so many times.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure they'll be at PAX East.
What's the feel on this podcast of Titanfall?
I'll give it a go.
I don't care.
I'm not really.
I'm gonna play it, but I don't care.
Yeah, I was
surprised at the 6v6 announcement.
Yeah.
Really?
I was surprised at that just because of all the the gameplay and stuff I've seen. Looks like you have pretty big maps, and 6v6 is not a lot. Like,
it's 6v6, but then you have all of those AI controls.
There's a lot of AI.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, I don't care about the AI, right? The AI is going to be dumb. The AI is not the players I'm playing against, and like think about Battlefield. Battlefield would not be the same if it was 10v10 with 20 other AI.
It'd be fucking terrible.
It'd be garbage.
Well, I would hope that Titanfall's maps aren't as big as Battlefield.
No. But that's what I'm saying is that like 6v6 seems incredibly small. That's like, I mean, even like a game like Tribes, 6v6 or 7v7 might be the competitive, scene, but like 8v8, 10v10, even 12v12, like it seems like those maps can definitely accommodate for it. So I don't know. That seems like a gamble to me, but I'm also not a game developer, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you don't know shit. Shut up.
I don't even think we've seen enough of the game to make any real conclusion on it.
It just seems very limiting to say it'll be 6v6. If you had told me the max would be 12v12 or 10v10, I'd be like, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
I honestly thought it would be whatever Modern Warfare 2 was. Was that 6v6 and 9v9 for Ground War?
Yeah, 9v9. Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought that's what it would be because that's what those dudes know. And like, I don't have any hope anymore for shooters to properly be made for the PC, especially by companies that aren't Valve. So you're not going to see, because best case scenario, Titanfall would have been something like a COD 4 was, which was made by the same people, where it's like your server size is whatever the hell you want it to be, because you got servers. But they already said no mod support at launch, 6v6. Clearly EA has its hands.
Can we just also rail against the no mod tools at launch? That means no mod tools. That means no mod tools ever. That means that they're not going to do it. No mod tools at launch means we don't want the negative PR of saying we will never have mod tools.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
hey, I didn't even know that was a thing,
Preach
so that just makes me even less excited that there's no mod tools for a fucking shooter. Like that, God, that it makes games so much better when people can create shit for it.
Like,
so much better.
Even like CS:GO, like you can go in and you can look through the servers, the public servers. If you don't want to do matchmaking, you can go head into Hell's Gamers or whatever it is, Scott, and do 30v30 deathmatch, like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, not only does Valve want you to mod their game, they want you to get paid to mod their game. Like it's amazing the fucking how drastic the contrast is between people like Valve and EA when it comes to mods. It's ridiculous.
I think what we're seeing more and more with these big developers is that they're discouraging anything that creates replayability. Replayability is something that's highly, highly favored among consumers. That is actually something very PC terrible for them,
especially PC gamers.
Especially PC gamers. That it's something really, really terrible for game developers because they don't want you to be replaying the game until the end of time. People still play COD 4 to this day, and to Activision, that's a travesty because that's less and less people that are buying every single one that comes out yearly because they've basically turned this into a production line of just churning out generic ass games. And the fact that we play our games over and over is something they want to discourage. Mod tools creates replayability and hurts later sales. I would have to imagine. That's my guess. I don't know if that's really accurate, but that's what it seems to be.
If you're running your business like EA, then yes, you need that infinite money to keep going. Even Activision actually doesn't need that money. Look at Blizzard, who, yes, they're milking WoW for all they can get, but we knew they were going to do that 8 years ago before they were even bought by Activision. Like, the roadmap was out then for, 5, 6, 7 expansions. But the fact is, StarCraft 2 came out 10 years after StarCraft 1, if not even more. I forget how long it was between them. Diablo 3, yes, it's not that great, but it will be. I have a lot of faith in this expansion and the changes they're doing. But Diablo 3 to
was
Diablo
great for
2.
40 hours.
Well, also the gameplay in it, you can't really fault the gameplay. It was more other factors in that game.
I'm really looking forward to the expansion.
But again, 10 years between games for Blizzard doing it that way. Valve, we still don't have Half-Life 3, obviously. But TF2 is how old now? And it's still just printing cash for everyone involved. Players, modders.
The 8th highest grossing free-to-play game in the world last year, and it's 8 years old.
And modders made $10 million this year.
And you think about what EA does, and if you have NHL 14, and this is a good time to bring this up, if you have that game for console, you'll know what I'm talking about. Every time I load into that game to play my GM mode that I have going, I get assaulted by ads at every turn inside this $60 game that I paid for. It's ads for other EA games. It's ads for downloadable content in other EA games. Whenever I load into a game, I played 3 or 4 games of NHL today. Whenever on the loading screen, I had a choice to hit triangle to watch a video telling me to buy shit for Tiger Woods PGA Tour 14. Like, that was a thing. Like,
it's really upsetting.
Like, when that is your business model, and EA is known to be, more notorious than Activision Blizzard even. Yes, they're milking Call of Duty for all it's worth, but I'm not necessarily seeing ads for everything in the lobby and shit like that if I'm playing Ghosts or whatever. Not that I'm playing Ghosts, but...
of course not.
But it's just unbelievable how different those companies are, yet Valve is still making a crap load of money. I don't know what Valve's gross is compared to EA, but I would say they're probably
$2 billion a year for Valve.
They're probably making more than EA then. Like, there's no way they're not.
They're certainly making more profit.
Yeah, they're definitely making more profit. When you're a big giant that eats studios like that and then just spits them out the other side, and you wonder why people hate you and you put out broken shit, like, this is a bad trend. This is a bad trend going into 2014 that I hope we see a lot less of.
So
Valve plays the long game, and nobody else does.
Yeah.
Here's one of the category I think is maybe most interesting for 2014 from the PC side is the MMOs. You have World of Warcraft with a new expansion. You have WildStar supposedly launching 2014, Elder Scrolls Online, and EverQuest Next.
EverQuest Next will not be out this year, but yes.
Well, I'm saying like you're going to have
The landmark will be out this year, right? Though.
Yes, the landmark will be.
You're gonna have 4 pretty big budget MMOs.
And Destiny. Don't forget about Destiny. It's not on PC,
Right.
but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a big player in that market. So
Like I just
ahead.
don't see how four MMOs can really survive in the current environment. Like World of Warcraft is clearly going to be dominant. I think there's room for one other one.
yeah, it's going to be one of those.
We know Elder Scrolls isn't going to be that game.
People are saying the Division
Yes.
as well, but the Division isn't an MMO like those are MMOs.
It's an MO. It's like a multiplayer.
Yeah, it's
The universe, but it's not 100,000 people on
you're
a
never
server.
you're never going to be on like John said, it's going to be smaller skirmishes between groups rather than you just constantly seeing hundreds of people. I don't have a whole lot of faith in WildStar personally.
I don't have a whole lot of faith in any other game other than WoW. It's too ingrained. I mean, with all of the other MMOs, WildStar is the only one that has a universe that seems interesting to me, and that's a big factor in playing an MMO. Is do you like the story, the characters, the environments, the art direction? Like that's a big factor. And WildStar is the only one that I like out of the new ones coming out. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. I've tried my best to get a beta key to do that. I think they let you go to like level 15 or something, like being able to stream it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten access yet. But I want to. I want to try it and see if it's something that I can sink time into. But I don't know. WoW is just too strong. It's way too strong.
I just think WildStar should have come out as a free to play with a monthly sub. I've discussed this before. I just think their model is...
I can understand not wanting the upfront price point, but subs to me are like still one of those things that if a game doesn't have a sub, I don't trust it. Like Guild Wars 2 is the only one that's succeeded without one, right?
Yeah.
What other game has succeeded without a sub?
Yeah.
I just don't trust it at all.
I just don't know that WildStar gets
succeeded.
I don't know that WildStar gets the population you need with a sub.
Yeah.
Like the reason that Guild Wars 2 had it was a sequel and it had a lot of marketing and stuff behind it. It was a brand people knew. WildStar's brand new. I just don't think I don't think they're going to get the player numbers to make subs sustainable. And I feel like WildStar is just the next MMO that starts out with a sub because they want to try it and then inevitably goes free to play in like 6 months.
Could be. It
Like
very
Terra.
well could
Like
be.
Terra.
I don't know that you can
Like
do
Star
a sub
Wars.
anymore unless you have a pedigree. Like I think Elder Scrolls could maybe get away with a sub. I haven't heard great things about it, but because people know what Elder Scrolls is and you kind of have that franchise already in people's minds, and EverQuest same thing. Right? I think like these existing franchises can get away with subs. I don't think new IPs can.
What about Firefall?
Yeah, I mean, even Star Wars with as big of a budget as it had.
Is that a joke?
Was
Dan?
Firefall
Yeah,
not
it was
on
a
this
good
list?
job.
Okay.
PC Gamer, what have you done?
What was Star Wars budget? Like 400 million or something?
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
Like I
It
said,
was
he
It was big.
just throws the money behind.
But it just didn't work. I mean, the game wasn't great. That was probably its biggest failure, but I don't think it had any real numbers for that long. What did it have? Like a few months of maybe some strong, like 800,000 to 1 million subs or something like that, or maybe they had more.
Yeah,
I could be
A lot
wrong.
of people probably switched from WoW to try it, and then they switched.
Yeah.
back once
I
they
went
played
to
through the
it to try it.
that
I did
happens.
it too.
That happened with every MMO during the height of WoW too. Like
Yeah.
people would
I
go
bet you-
try
I bet you Blizzard
Age of
could-
Conan.
I bet you
or-
Blizzard could show you graphs that would tell you exactly what happened in the MMO market, because they'll lose a little dip every now and then, and inevitably those people come back for the next expansion.
Yep.
Yep, I remember
never
getting
fails.
in the beta for Warhammer and thinking like, yeah, this is all right. And then I was like, it's not WoW though.
Much.
Where's
not
WoW
as well
2.0?
done.
I think
Come on, give
the
me
most
WoW.
feature-full MMO right now, like the best alternative to WoW, is Rift, and I think it's probably going to remain that way for a long time. Rift is a
Actually,
very, very good game. It's just not WoW.
I still think the best ones that I've played since playing WoW are still Neverwinter, which is very good, especially for free to play. It's very simple to learn, simple to level. And Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV comes with the caveat that you have to kind of be into Final Fantasy, I think, to really want to play it for an extended time.
Final Fantasy is just gorgeous, too.
And it's the best. It's the best looking game. It's the best looking MMO.
Should have played better.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't play badly.
It doesn't play great.
No. I wish WoW looked like Final Fantasy.
I mean, at least they are trying to update WoW in a little sense, but I mean, yeah, it being that old, it's just hard to make it look as good as something can do today.
I like WoW's colorful art style better, but Final Fantasy 14 it just has the graphical quality of
That's one of WoW's strong points, is that as outdated as their 2D fucking tree branches are, the game has a decent art direction, so it can get away with it.
And you can run it on
so it has a good color palette, so it's able to cover it up, and you can run it on a single processor, so that's nice too.
Exactly.
Let's just go around real quick, say what we're looking forward to here. Brandon, games, you can list a few, or just one, or...
I mean, I think, for me, Hearthstone, like coming to iPad and just becoming a real full game.
Fully out,
Heroes of the Storm, Diablo 3, like a lot of them, I think, for me, are the Blizzard titles that are coming out. I don't know, the other ones, I feel like everything else is so nebulous. Like, for me, there are other games I'm excited about, but, like Watch Dogs. I was kind of excited for Watch Dogs, but now after the delays and everything, it's like, I can take it or leave it. I'll watch people play it and see what I think. But I think the only games that I know I'm going to be into that are coming out soon are these Blizzard games.
Yeah. So, John, Division, you said?
The Division, Heroes of the Storm, Warlords of Draenor, Hearthstone on iPad as well. Kind of looking forward to the new Diablo expansion. We'll see. ARPGs aren't really my thing, but I did enjoy my time with Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably really about it. Mostly Warlords of Draenor, though.
Mark?
I won.
I mean, there's not really that many. It's weird how little I care about a lot of games coming out, but definitely the WoW expansion. I'm looking forward to Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC, definitely. Mirror's Edge 2 is something that I think I might want to get into, but I don't even know if it has a release date yet, but it could be a 2014 thing.
Forgot about GTA 5 completely.
yeah. There's a couple of games that are kind of off of the the mainstream market. Like there's a game called A Hat in Time, which is a collectathon, 3D platformer game. I followed it from the beginning because the one of the guys behind it makes a lot of TF2 stuff, like TF2ware, some other game types that were made. He's a part of this. But it's got a nice art style. I mean, it looks like Wind Waker. If you know what that looks like, you'll definitely see it in this art direction. But it looks fun. I like collectathon platformers, and I'm interested in having one on PC that I can play. But
yeah, definitely not enough on PC.
Yeah, there's really not much else. I'm going through this fucking PC Gamer article. I see Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's another good one to look out for. Beyond Good and Evil is a great fucking game.
Nice.
But I'd have no idea. I am not prepared for this.
It's way too many games going to
PC
The
Sims
Gamer.
4. I didn't know that was coming out. We'll be playing that.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
That's Maxis's next and probably last title. Right there. Scott.
I'm going to throw Watch Dogs still on there, even though the hype has died down somewhat. I'm still excited for that. It's weird to say this, but I am among the sleep. I don't know if excited is the right word for that game, but I don't know. I'm sure it'll be terrifying. I've watched. I've seen the trailer and stuff for it. So
have you seen The Forest?
Yes, I watched. You sent me the Forest trailer.
Yeah.
I saw that too. That also looks cool and also terrifying. And actually, one that no one's mentioned, which this caught my attention. This is a while ago that they released the tech demo video for Overgrowth. The fucking crazy physics with the basically your rabbit with the bunny. Yeah, I think we talked about it on a cast a while ago.
Yeah, we did.
The physics and animation systems are really cool. Plus, you can wound your enemies. It's really violent. Anyway, it's going to be an action RPG. It looks really cool. So that's one that I'm actually probably going to pick up.
I'm excited to get an Oculus Rift for KBMOD and then make you use it. That's what I'm really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
there was one game I missed, and Diction was spamming me on fucking Skype about it, but I was talking about it last night when I was streaming. But the guys that made Left 4 Dead 1, I think it's Turtle Rock Studios,
Yes.
Yeah,
Turtle Rock Studios. They're making a new game that's called Evolve, and
It's a shooter, right?
Yeah, it's another co-op shooter, but it's all everything that's the main points are all controlled by players, even the enemy. It's 4 players versus 1 enemy.
Okay.
It's kind of like Monster Hunter in a sense, where it's one big boss that's being played by a player, and then you have the 4 class-based people that synergize together to beat the boss. And it's kind of an interesting thing because with something like Monster Hunter, you have your basic abilities that a boss has, and you can learn them and you know what he's going to do. But with a player playing a boss, it's always going to be RNG, so it can even if you're using the same boss, it can be a different fight each time, and it can be pretty exciting, I guess. I mean, in theory, but I don't know exactly how it's all going to work. It seems pretty ambitious because apparently it's not just you take these classes and you go in and you just fight the other enemy player that's playing as the boss. It's like there's this more open world, and there's other creatures that you can fight that may throw you off. Like they're not the boss themselves, but they're also I don't know. Apparently, it's supposed to be way bigger than just 4 players fighting against the 1-player boss, and it
Right.
seems interesting. And I mean, it's the guys who made Left 4 Dead 1, so it's something to look forward to. It's not guaranteed to be shit right off the bat, so it's good to be excited about something like that, especially
Left
if
4
it's
Dead
from
1
Left 4
came
Dead
out of
Universe.
nowhere, and it was
Yeah.
perfect. So I have a lot of faith in them. Because Left 4 Dead 1, I had no idea it was even a thing, and then it just showed up, and everybody was crazy about
Yeah.
it. So
All right.
I would
Blacklight.
also mention Dark Souls 2. I forgot that one.
Yes.
I've watched
Yeah.
a lot of Dark Souls, but I haven't played it really because I know how bad it is. Like I don't want to do all the DS fix stuff and like hopefully make it work with SLI and everything. So I'm just probably just gonna
SLI
wait
may
for...
throw a wrench in your plans.
Yeah, it
It's true.
typically does.
DS
so.
Fix is not hard though. I thought it was, and then I just took
Yeah.
it step by
But
step.
that is a game we know is coming out in 2014. So
Yes. We don't know when yet, though. Still.
PC Gamer says March 11th, and they're a very reputable news.
Well, I
site.
hope-
That's it's pretty close.
Yeah, I know. I don't have much time.
Hurry up, Dan.
Blacklight.
The only 2 things that come to mind that haven't been mentioned yet are both indie games coming out. Shovel Knight
Yeah.
was supposed to be out this holiday and got pushed back till I think spring of this year. So, and we all know how I wouldn't shut up about it after PAX East last year. And the other one is actually an indie recreation being made, not even under license, but with the blessing of the original publishers of the first game, which is River City Ransom is coming out
Yes.
with
New version of that.
a new version for
exciting.
PC with a much larger city, a whole bunch of crazy character customization options, and basically a 4-player online co-op, which is like an absolute given. It looks fantastic. They just barely met their Kickstarter goal. I forget when, but that's supposed to be out in 2014 as well. I think it's a summer release. I'm not positive. I would have to look that up again, but that looks really fun. I didn't even know how good River City Ransom was until I played it on Emulation Station, and it was, man, that game was fun. That game was really fun. Kind of a open world 2D brawler. That they somehow made an open world game on the NES.
And you can level too, right?
You could the funny thing and the reason it was a little bit unintuitive to me at first, it took me a little while to realize what I was doing, but you don't exactly level. You go around beating the shit out of people and stealing their money, and then you use the money to buy food, which upgrades your stats. So you can level sort
Sounds
of
like real life.
yeah, just like in real life. So you don't level in the traditional sense. You just buff your stats.
Yeah.
And you can choose which stats to upgrade to, which is cool. So
All right.
that's pretty much it.
Well, I am last year. Number 1 for me, top game I'm looking forward to, especially now that the soundtrack leaked, is Binding of Isaac Rebirth, the 16-bit remake of Isaac, but it also has brand new soundtrack, double the content, and local co-op. coming to that game. Co-op was something that game needed. I still don't know how it would have been implemented, but it would have been really, really cool to do. But that is number one for me. People in chat mentioning Hotline Miami 2. Of course, that is also coming out this year. We'll get a second soundtrack. That will be amazing. The Crew is another one, which was one of the delayed games that was supposed to be a PS4 launch title along with Watch Dogs. But The Crew just looks cool because I like racing games like that. Like, I like Forza. And this is more of an arcadey type racer, but it's like an MMO, so you can make like crews on it. So we can make the KBMOD crew and like race other crews and stuff. It sounds really awesome. I think it sounds cool as shit. Way better than Drive Club or Forza 5 have appeared to be, although Drive Club also got pushed back. Also, Witcher 3 is coming out this year, so prepare your computer's anus for that one, because it's going to bend a lot of systems over when that comes out. And the new Diablo expansion I'm definitely looking forward to. I just want to see how this works, how this no auction house with like adventure boss zones for farming does. I just want to see how that is a thing that works.
Is the expansion free, or is it going to be paid?
No, it's $30
okay.
or something like that.
Then I'm not going to try it.
And also, this is in the list on PC Gamer, and I don't think it's actually coming out this year. It's a fact. Rumored to be 2014, but I don't think it's coming out till 2015 or something. I would not expect that to
They're
come
still
out.
going to be working on fixing Battlefield 4 release bugs, so
Yeah,
that's gonna be
probably.
pushed back.
Of course, Dark Souls 2, I think I already mentioned that. But I'm just looking through this. Oh, shit, I totally forgot that fucking South Park game comes out.
Oh, the
yeah,
RPG?
it does.
Yeah, the South Park RPG. I'm just going to go through here and like try to quickly find other stuff for us that we can maybe talk about. Of course, to talk about The Division, Watch Dogs,
Cube
GTA 5, we'll see. Cube World, I have no hope for that actually ever being updated ever again.
No.
I haven't played it since I got it, and I don't know if there's anything that's been done to that alpha since I bought it when it first came out. Has anything been updated at all?
No updates.
Wow.
Wooly came
That's
out with a
wonderful.
thing that said, like, basically we're working on it.
Yeah. He's very quiet
Right.
man.
Star Citizen is another one that I've forgotten about. The biggest crowdfunding game ever. Forget about that with games like Broken Age. By the way, Broken Age just came out, and it comes out for everyone to buy next week. If you like point-and-click adventures or good stories at all, it is fantastic. I watched all of Hex's stream, pretty much. Broken Age looks amazing.
Yeah. Played the first 2 hours of that, too.
Yeah, I funded it,
sure.
but I
So
haven't
good.
played I haven't used
First
my code yet
episode.
to play it.
So many good voice actors in that thing, too, and like
Yep.
great soundtrack. There's like Jack
Well,
Black.
that budget went.
Yep. Also, no one mentioned this, but Transistor comes out this year.
Yeah,
The
it
new
does.
new Supergiant game. The Bastion
Oh, yeah.
Robots.
I forgot about that one.
Yep.
That looks amazing. I did get to play that at PAX. It was
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Dying Light, that zombie game.
Yeah, Dying
Yet
Light made
another.
by the people who
Another-
made fucking Dead Island.
Oh, it's by Dead Island, folks. Never mind. Do not look
Yeah.
for that.
I'm pretty sure it looks exactly like Dead Island too.
I played it. I played a really early build of it, and it's definitely controls way better than Dead Island. And the free running aspect is actually a lot of fun, but yeah, I'm not holding my
PewDiePie
breath.
played it for VGX, so you know it's good.
That is how you know it's good.
God damn it!
Of course, Walking Dead
So,
Season 2 will
We'll see
continue.
the final product.
Wolf Among Us will continue.
Wolf Among Us, hell yeah.
It's fucking real good. The rest of Kentucky Route Zero, if you guys haven't gotten that, you should get it. Episodes 3, 4, and 5 will come out. Soma, Scott, that one you should be all about.
Soma?
By the Amnesia guys. Yep.
Great.
It is in space this time.
Shit.
You're on a space station with a sentient AI. And, yeah. Good luck with that one. It looks like it's based off some of the internet, like, Slender stuff, too. some of the stuff that crept up around that, but it looks terrifying. Of course, it looks terrifying.
Right.
Let's go through, see if I can find a few more here. God, this list is so ridiculously huge that it's like, you guys should go check.
Just going through
Yeah.
one page takes
But
quite
it's-
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
I mean,
little
it's,
long.
It's
There's a
unbelievable.
ton of games, dude. I'm like stuck staring at it now.
Wolfenstein: The New Order, things not to look forward to.
Yeah,
That game.
yeah.
Looking forward to Wolfenstein's multiplayer aspect.
Brum, 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 brum.
Me too. No pump about it.
This is a game though, Survarium, I think that's how you pronounce it, from the dudes who made the Stalker games. And it looks like a 40-person kind of DayZ set in the Stalker world. So I'm actually super down with that. So that should
Oh,
be
one that I'm actually really looking forward to is hopefully Super Hot becomes a real game.
Oh, which is that?
That's the browser game.
Oh, that's right.
It's the browser like time warp game. It's
Yes,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's just like
Where
two.
your
It's like
movement
two levels.
depends on the movement of
Your
the
movement,
bullets.
yeah, your movement is what makes time go forward. It's
Oh,
if you haven't
yeah.
played, it's like it literally takes you 10 or 15 minutes, but it's such a cool concept. I want to see that come
Superhot's
out.
on this list. Yeah, I see it. Oh, the new StarCraft game. No, the Protoss expansion. I don't think that's coming out this year though.
I don't think so. No.
But yeah, lots. There's so many games. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. But PC Gamer put out this list. Just search PC Gamer Games 2014. We'll link it in the post as well when we post this Tuesday. But their list seriously has hundreds of games on it. So, but yeah. So we are going to run a quick commercial break and then do some news quickly, and then the viewer questions. All right. You hit that button.
Yeah, hit it. I'll be right back.
I hit it, yo.
There's so many fucking games coming out. Good
I
lord.
know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even know what half of them are.
Video games are gay.
It's fucking stupid shit.
I don't play that shit.
I really do hope GTA 5 comes out on PC now. You reminded me of it. I want to see that game like on cranked up graphics.
Yeah,
on real,
yeah,
on a real
modded
machine.
to hell.
On a good frame rate. God, it would be so amazing. And without the weird, depth of field and blur that, fucking masks how badly the game would run without it, and, to be able to see a lot of the world. Like, I just want to see the world the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Also,
There's so much hidden.
People in chat pump for Madden 26.
Yep.
After Madden
I got Madden
25
25 for my
won our
sweet
game
ass
of the
Xbox.
year this past year.
I just want to see the difference in GTA 5 in a jet, because whenever you're flying in a jet on Xbox or PS3, like they take out so much stuff in the city to compensate for you flying fast through all of it. So I want to see the difference in a video between like fully rendering everything on a PC and
Yeah.
then playing it on a console.
Please bring the NHL series back to PC so I don't have to worry about consoles anymore. Please. Love that game. And then, fuck you, EA. Ooh, mods were quick on that one. I don't know
What
about
happened
you.
there?
Don't know about you, but I can't get enough of this Trouble in Terrorist Town game.
I think it's the new hit of
It is.
2014.
All right, we're back.
We're back. All right. We're going to maybe not speed through this news, but go through it really quickly. So Steam Dev Days were this past week. And actually next week we'll be having Dave Oshry of Interceptor Entertainment / Gunners / Hot Blooded Games, which is his own studio, on, and he went to Steam Dev Days and tried the new Oculus prototype and was at all the panels there, and also puts half nude blah selfies on the Gunner Twitter account.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a flawless business tactic.
Yeah, really. I mean,
It really is.
So he'll be on next week to talk about this more thoroughly. But we thought Valve was maybe going to put out their own VR hardware during Steam Dev Days. Instead, they announced they're like partnered with Oculus now, like officially, to help bring things to VR. And they demonstrated a Steam menu in VR, so that you never have to like take the headset off to do anything. Which is the first step to all of us becoming vegetables inside of headsets.
Yep, can't wait.
And it just shows you that Valve knows what the fuck they're doing again.
Yep.
Because you don't take something that's as new as virtual reality headsets and split the market with 2 fucking VR headsets as soon as they start to come out. Like, Oculus has been building up this shit for so long. Yeah.
Sony came out with CES.
Like, if Valve came and tried to split that market, it would be terrible, because now they're doing the right thing where they're trying to build the infrastructure for support for the VR rather than creating their own, making sure that the Oculus works and that Steam is going to be a big forefront for the Oculus Rift. I'm sure that you're going to see, like, on game pages, if it has Oculus Rift support, all these kinds of things are going to be integrated into Steam, and that's the best way to do it. Is to just maybe in the long run they might get Oculus under their wing or do their own VR thing. But as far as it is concerned now, they should just be supporting what Oculus is trying to do and just make it run well on PC.
And they also demonstrated several of their Steam boxes from various companies. The Gigabyte one, I think, is already buyable. It's Gigabyte bricks, and they gave them out to everyone who came to...
These things are like palm size. They're ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but Valve thinks the Oculus really, has the edge here, and they would like to, partner with them. Making a Steam interface in VR, though, I mean, does this mean that we're just going to have to just be vegetables inside our Steam machine headsets for...
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
I look forward to it after this. But
we got Rifts in the office this week, and I was playing a little bit with them. They've definitely improved. It wasn't as good as the one I used at E3, but it was way better than the first prototype I used.
Yeah, now it's
nice, and this is just the kit.
So what they're saying, Valve believes it's possible for a VR headset to have 20 millisecond latency, 3 millisecond pixel persistence, 95 hertz refresh rate. This is going to require custom screens, obviously, built for, because right now I believe the Oculus retrofits cell phone displays to use in it, because that's what's available.
Yeah, the resolution's pretty bad.
Yeah. So an 110 degree FOV and 1,000 by 1,000 resolution per eye. And they wanted to have, optic tracking, and this is by next year. They think all this will be in place with Oculus. So Oculus has everyone on its side now. It got John Carmack. It's got Valve. All the good guys are aligning on one side over there.
I think it makes a lot of sense for Valve to be like, here, let's partner and focus on the Steam experience on what is clearly going to be like the leading, consumer VR device, instead of making their own and trying to do something that's like not really their core competency. I think that's where Valve, like at least in recent history, has been really good at like understanding what things they're good at and what they're not. And this is something where clearly like they weren't succeeding the way they wanted to, because they ended up laying some people off that were working on some of the VR stuff. And so this makes perfect sense. Like, I'm really happy to see that Oculus is getting support from pretty much everyone, and Valve is going to really focus on making that an experience worth using Steam for and worth buying an Oculus for. Like, I really hope this actually turns into something that could potentially be more, like, way more mainstream one day.
I just hope we see every system, and this is like going back for a very long time, every system needs that killer app. It needs that program that you can't get anywhere else. And right now, that's what Valve doesn't have for these Steam boxes. So perhaps it's going to be some sort of thing for the Oculus that is an extremely good experience. It's either made by Valve or, perhaps a third party.
I
I totally
and
agree with that.
that's going to
because
be the
it's cool.
selling
Yeah,
point. Or it's like, no, this isn't the joke, the ongoing joke. Maybe it is Half-Life 3 at some point, but it's the selling point for this, or Left 4 Dead 3, or whatever, whatever it's going to be. There has to be something that makes you want to get a Steam box.
Yeah, because you can't control the PC market with the way that Valve wants to keep everything open, and that's the problem with making things like a Steam box have some kind of form factor that's easy to produce, and you can sell at a loss, and then you can make your money back. They can't do that because they don't control the PC market. If somebody gets a PC, they don't have to buy their games on Steam. Even if you get a Steam box, you don't have to buy your games on Steam.
Right.
You can get them on GOG, you can get them on Origin, you can get them on Green Man Gaming, Amazon Digital. You can get them from all of these storefronts. So in order for them to make the Steam box work as like a thing where what are they trying to do? What's their goal? Like bring people to the PC from consoles in an easier way. They have a controller. You've got a operating system that has Steam on it that just it runs out of the box. Now, why would you want to buy this? Well, we also have Oculus Rift support. Cool things like this. Even though we don't have a good price point because you can't sell PCs at a loss because you can't recoup that cost in any way. There's no way that they can guarantee that.
Right.
So they have to keep selling things at the highest price point that they that they're offered at the moment. They can't just sell at a loss. So maybe Oculus Rift is something like that. I don't know what else they plan to do in order to get people to come and buy Steam boxes.
The
and
cheapest
get
Steam
onto
box
the PC.
is $4.99 right now, and you still have to know Linux kind of well to use.
Yep. I
So
mean, it's
they
still a
need-
long way down the
Yeah.
road. SteamOS is early as fuck. Like it's not even going to be viable for what? Maybe a couple of years. SteamOS is going to be in beta and being worked on.
And as you said, Valve's here for the long term. They're
Exactly.
not here to blow
They're not
it up
trying
this
to
year.
they're not trying to go in a year and take over the PC market in some way. They just want it to be better. And that's what they're going to do because they're Valve and they know what they're doing. They prove it time and time again.
So, moving on, SimCity's getting an offline mode. All right, next story.
Oh man, great.
They said it couldn't be done, and yet they've somehow put an offline mode in,
So
in SimCity.
The cynics here, or maybe just realists, are thinking that it's coming out now because there's no concern of piracy at this point. They've already basically sold as many copies as they're going to sell of this game. So I think like if this is real, this is kind of tinfoil hat stuff, but in this case, I actually kind of believe it. Because the only way that you're going to get anyone to buy another SimCity game ever is doing this.
Well, they also I didn't put it in here. They also announced modding will be available for SimCity, and then they put out a bunch of restrictions that basically makes it impossible to mod SimCity.
Yeah,
They're like,
doing,
modders,
I feel
feel
like
free
they're
to mod
really-
our game.
I feel like they're
but
really
don't.
doing everything they can to try and salvage the SimCity reputation so that they can eventually put out another game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a complete failure.
Yep.
But they have no concern of piracy anymore because no one's buying SimCity new. So
Exactly.
it's
It's just, dude,
it's very
you can only
conspiracy
burn
theory-ish, but like I actually kind of believe it.
you can only burn people so much. Like I just like don't give a fuck. .jpeg.
Yeah.
Fucking
Pretty-
don't
pretty
care.
much. Yep.
But
That's why I was like, move it on.
The only way I'm gonna play this game is if like it's free on Origin or something. I'll be like, if all I have to do is
Yeah.
hit the download button, I'll play it.
True.
But other than
If
that,
they do
I'm
the
not
thing where
giving
we
you
could,
a
like,
cent.
Like how they gave us Battlefield 2 for Battlefield Bad Company 2 for $1 or whatever whenever
Yeah.
they had those sales going on.
Exactly.
Like if they did that with SimCity, maybe. But wasn't there the quote from the guy that said that it was impossible? Well, maybe not impossible, but that they could not have an offline mode.
Well, it
at
says the exact wording was 10 months after saying it couldn't be done without, quote, a significant amount of engineering work.
We would have to hire a lot of monkeys to press a lot of keys, please. We
Yeah.
can't do this.
So, but
Well, supposedly there actually was engineering work because a lot of the server stuff is in Java, and they had to code that. They had to change that to be C++
Nice,
to
dude.
run on the client. So I understand that it's not just it's not flipping a few switches to make it work, but I'm
Yeah.
also pretty sure it didn't take this long to do
Yeah.
it if they really wanted to do it. I think this is where their projections said we're now selling like one new copy a day, so we might as well
Yeah.
just put this patch out.
I mean, I don't even like the idea of saying, "Oh, well, it takes a lot of engineering work," but it's your fucking job to make this game work and play as best as it can, and it needed an offline mode. So fucking do it.
It was only a lot of engineering work because your vision for the original game was flawed.
Exactly, it was terrible.
Yeah, and they already said they will not take the limit off city sizes. So the only thing that
Again,
would make me
stupid.
play the game, they will not do. So
There's also the fact that that's a terrible excuse.
Yep.
Basically, like, yeah, we know our game sucked and it's not what you wanted, but it would be a lot of work to fix
Did
it.
you guys
We don't-
know it takes a lot of listening to change something in the game?
I mean, like, we could. Like, I'm not saying I can't do it. I'm just saying I don't want to.
It's like at this point, why?
I've already got my mojito in my hand right now. Just
Yeah,
please leave me alone.
excellent point by
Kind of sleep.
Upmarket.
Can you stop emailing me? It keeps making my phone vibrate.
A hacker had coded an offline mode within 24 hours of release.
Exactly.
And there were videos on YouTube. So there you go. But moving on to some good news, which we already knew, but there's now a definitive list for this. Games for Windows Live goes away July 1st. For those that don't know, yay! Celebrate, because that shit is garbage.
Yep.
It was real
So
bad.
there's good news and bad news. A big, somewhat big list of games have come out that use this as DRM and for their multiplayer online, such as Super Street Fighter 4. But Super Street Fighter 4, Dirt 3, F1 2010, 2011, Red Faction Guerrilla, and Mrs. Explosion Man will all replace Game for Windows Live with Steamworks, which is awesome. Like that's probably
good.
that's your best case scenario
Yeah.
because there are mods for Street Fighter, and now it'll be easier to use those. And so those multiplayers will continue on just using Steam for their multiplayer.
Props to the people making F1 2010 for even bothering to remove it and change it
doing
out
Now,
for
what,
Steam.
what I'm
Works.
really sad about is that
was
there's a
willing
lot
to
of
do
these Capcom games that don't even have an answer yet. Like, I would love to play Dead Rising 2 again, but I don't like dealing with fucking games for Windows Live, but it doesn't have any information on whether or not it's going to get any work done to it for it to just work
Well,
with Steam.
it
And there's
doesn't
so
appear
many of
that
those
it is
games.
going to have anything done.
Yeah, there's so many of those games that don't have any word on them.
Yeah, Namco Bandai are trying to get options to remove games from Windows Live from Dark Souls and Ace Combat. Nobody really gives a shit about Ace Combat, but I would rather not have people invading my games on Dark Souls because I'm bad and I just want to play without being invaded. For you guys on the podcast who don't know, anyone can join your game at any time in Dark Souls.
What?
And try to kill you.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That is the worst thing that I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
There's some great videos concerning that.
Yeah,
But
I mean, if it was something that you could turn off, then yeah, I would love it. But if it's always on, then fuck that. I don't want to just die for no fucking reason.
so these games are up in the air, as Mark was saying. Dead Rising series, Lost Planet series, Resident Evil 5, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, oddly enough. It's kind of odd that they would do 4 and not Cross Tekken, but
Yeah.
Way more
Operation
people play,
Flashpoint. Wow, that's a shit game anyway. Fable 3. Gears of War is on PC?
Yeah. Gears of
Yeah,
War has been on PC ever since it, a little bit after its release. It was a Games for Windows Live game.
Wow.
I own it.
Halo 2, Blacklight Tango Down,
Oh, no.
and quite a lot of other games currently have no plans to remove games from this.
Call Jared. Hurry.
Seriously, I seriously want to shout out F1 2010 because Steam Graph is not showing an active player on that game since
G-Money, I'm aware it's when
mid-2011.
you have to be human to invade someone's game. I'm well aware of that. That didn't really matter for our discussion, though. But I'm going to put Dota 2's cock back in my mouth, and we'll talk about it. Last piece of news here. Net neutrality. This is not really gaming related, but I wanted to bring it up anyway. A lower appeals court in the U.S. has ruled the FCC's net neutrality rules unconstitutional. So,
You just wanted to bring this up to make us angry.
yeah, pretty much. So it's kind of the first step in net neutrality eventually going away. I hope not. That would be a bad thing. For those that don't know, it would mean for things like, let's say, Twitch. doesn't make a deal with Comcast. Comcast can be like, we allot no bandwidth to Twitch, so you can't watch it at home on Comcast unless you get our Twitch tier of service and pay $20 more a month. That could be an actual thing. So that would suck. And Verizon and actually AT&T.
It just sounds illegal. There's got to be some law
it's not, though.
Even if it's archaic, like some archaic law has to have something that would apply to
ISPs aren't
this.
classified as common carriers,
Right.
which is the
And
root
the
of
way-
the problem.
Ridiculous.
And the way Sean described it to me, actually, Sean is actually on the side of the ISPs in this, oddly enough, because he says, no one should be telling them what they can and can't do with their
Respectfully,
equipment,
Sean is
with
wrong.
their servers. But no, he agrees with having a free and open internet, obviously, but he sees why they won, is what I'm saying, basically, in this case. Also, the language on that law was incredibly awful.
Some people are actually saying
Well, they
this
also
could-
won because. Yeah, go ahead.
Some
I'm sorry.
people are saying it could potentially actually be a good thing because it's going to force the Supreme Court to look at all of it instead of having like a certain if they had upheld certain parts of it that are really watered down and not good, then we could actually end up with a better result if the Supreme Court disagrees. So hopefully that happens. I mean, I'm not hopeful that it will, but
So
Can I just state that none of it matters because freedom is an illusion anyway? I've been reading a lot of conspiracy books recently, and I'm just going to tell you that in the end, it doesn't fucking
how
matter.
much free time do you have?
Oh, I have a lot. You don't want to see the list of books that I'm going through right now. I will recommend Hidden Truth, Forbidden Knowledge by Dr. Stephen Greer, though, so this is a real good one. Anyway.
Are you enlightened now,
are you
Scott?
going to Scientology soon?
Oh, no. Not Scientology.
In Scott's unemployment, he has found new hope in this world.
Yeah.
He understands more than we know.
Listen,
So-
we just need to love each other, okay, everyone? And the world will be a better place.
There we go. Sean spouting truths in chat. Anyway, so that was our last piece of news. New releases for this week. Tomorrow, Kickbeat comes out. It's like a rhythm kung fu game or some shit. 122 Insurgency, which I've heard from actually multiple people on Twitter. It's actually pretty good. It's a shooter coming out. And Blackguards, which is a turn-based RPG, officially releases at the 24th, although it has been out in early access for months. So those are the only games released. Tons and tons of shit comes out next week, including Recoil comes out next week, a shooter that we had been keeping tabs on various PAXs. So, yeah, we're going to take another short break and then be back with the viewer questions, of course. And a
We
bunch
should
of
say
my
that Recoil did something really, really cool before they launched in that they released their mod tools to everybody before the game was
before
even
the
out.
game even came out.
they did.
There you go.
They are on Steam.
All right, we'll be
Did you
right
hit the
back.
button? Yeah. Did you hit the button?
Is that game still looking good, by the way?
I would hope it looks better than it did.
I'm not talking graphically. I don't give a shit about what it looks like.
I kind of do, because it kind of looked like
it
shit.
had some flaws, but
I'm about
it
to go
was- it
look
was
at
fun.
it again.
Hit detection was a little garbo. But the Twitch shooterness of it was pretty damn good, actually.
Gotcha.
For my Seahawks. God damn.
Oh yeah, I
It's
love blogging.
literally terrible.
I'm serious. There has not been a recorded user in F1 2010 since mid 2011.
Wow.
Well, hey,
It just makes me wonder if it was like a typo in the article. Like, why would you even update this game?
You know what's crazy is that, like, NHL 09, I've brought this up before, NHL 09 was the last PC version of the game. It still has a huge, like, community behind it that mods it and, like, updates rosters.
Damn.
It wasn't on Steam. It was only, like, through EA's, before Origin existed, like, EA's online page. You had to, like, get it. And it was... And all it did was crash. All the game did was crash.
All right,
But-
we're back.
All right. Viewer question time. First question from Josh, aka Darkwing02 via email. This question has been answered before, back in episode 12, but because the podcast roster changed since then and over 2 years have passed. Wow.
See, hold on 1 sec. I appreciate a question like this because Josh is obviously one of our most dedicated listeners. But like, if you're gonna ask a question again, he references the episode that we asked it in. So he's taking away the work
Yeah.
of us having to remember, have we asked this before? The answer is yes, but that was 2 years ago, and so our answers have probably changed.
Yeah.
True.
Also, Blacklight wasn't here.
Yeah.
Mark
He wasn't
here.
born.
Blacklight wasn't
Didn't
even
even
born.
What am I, Nick Fenton? Nick Fenton isn't here, so y'all gotta gang up on me and call me a babby?
So he asks, if you could tell 3 people in the world, the whole world, to shut the fuck up, who would they be?
I mean, God.
Jenny
so-
McCarthy
Kanye West.
up
Kanye
there.
West.
and Kanye. Yes. Kanye.
Nancy Grace 3 times. 3 times in a row. Shut the fuck up. God, absolutely just the worst.
She's always been the worst. It's amazing that
She
she
really
still has a fucking TV show.
Man,
My
Nancy
favorite
Grace
thing was
times is
there was a
fucking
video
good.
recently cutting between her opinions on weed.
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
on the topic. Did you just watch that? Where it
Fucking
was one-
contradicting yourself.
totally contradicting, just like in the worst way. Talking about how like weed, like in one thing, like yeah, it wouldn't make you do violent things. In the next clip, she's like, it makes you violent. From what I
She said, when you smoke pot, don't you just want to sit on the couch and eat? Ain't that all you want to do?
And then in the next clip, it's literally the opposite. She's like, I understand that.
They stab and they kill each other when they're on the pots. That's what she sounds like.
Yep. She's damn good, Nancy.
on the
Grace.
pots.
Scott wasn't on
pots.
this episode. This was the
Episode
first. This was the first episode, episode 12, with Nick Fenton and Mike, Nuketown Noob.
Good lord.
It was me,
Fucking
John.
Nuketown on a podcast.
Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, God, Nancy Grace 3 times. What a good option.
I would go for James Clapper, the director of the NSA.
I'm down.
Just basically for every single thing he's said that has been a lie about the NSA program. And because I wasn't necessarily going to say him, but I looked up his picture, and I just posted it in Twitch chat. But look at this picture. Like, just look at this guy.
He's got a little nice smile.
Look at this fucking asshole.
That's not real. Is that?
Oh,
is he-
God.
Okay, so I'm on this alien thing. That is an alien. If I've ever
Oh,
look at the way the head's shaped.
On this alien thing.
Get that.
Like, does that not just scream,
His-
like, just the
So,
very-
so
smugness
this guy,
radiating
this
off
guy
him?
looks
Look
like
at that
he looks
photo.
like he smoked a bunch of pot. And now his face is melting off of his head. It's just slowly dripping down.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be talking. We're about to get targeted. Everything should.
Oh fuck!
And also, can I just talk about how the ridiculousness? Speaking of the whole NSA thing, why would the fucking a secret agency ever tell the truth about anything? And people like listen to these reports, like, here we go, the U.S. government's going clean about what they're spying on. Like, you fucking out of your
Yeah.
mind? Like, if you believe that for 1 second, not only should you should have all of your semen extracted from your body, never able to reproduce it, and you should not be able to put it in anything. Because God, this fucking, it makes me so mad though when I hear some of these news reports and it's like people like earnestly reporting. I'm like, well, Obama came out and said that we're gonna not spy quite as much as we normally do. It's like it's all a fucking joke. Like why would you ever take your hand as a country on what your spying programs are? It's a
You really
fucking
need a job, Scott.
Anyway, sorry.
Scott neglected
Yeah.
to tell us
Scott's
that
a spy,
he starts an
so-
employment contract with the NSA next week.
Scott is a communist.
I didn't mean to
and,
mention. I did mean to mention that next
Why
week
don't you just move to England with Stuart, who's also a communist?
I'm starting I'm starting as an intern with the NSA. So
I already called Sean out on Twitter for being communist. So,
did you?
yeah, about his net neutrality stuff.
Oh, no.
The Red, Sean, a.k.a. the Red Scare. God, I would tell Anita Sarkeesian, tell her to shut up.
I would tell Joffrey
that's
to shut up
sexist.
from Game of Thrones.
Ooh,
Fucking
yeah. Fuck that kid.
Fuck that kid.
I have seen one clip of Game of Thrones with Joffrey in it, and I wanted to kill myself.
Oh,
he
God,
is
dude.
such a fucking
It
shit
gets
face.
so much worse. I would Piers Morgan. That guy sucks.
What
Real
did he
bad.
do?
Dude, have you ever seen Piers Morgan
hates
on
guns.
CNN? I mean,
No,
that
I
guy,
never have. Never
Oh,
have.
Jesus God.
Oh wait! Yeah. I know who you're talking about now. I have seen him a couple of times on. I mean, obviously from
He goes
like
from American
but
Idol to being a political figure.
He's
a
Okay.
fucking
fucking
pundit.
worst.
Yeah.
God, Nancy
There's a lot of
Grace. I keep coming back to
Yeah,
Nancy
you
Grace.
guys pulled out some good ones with Nancy
Yeah.
Grace and this James Clapper guy. God, this
Apparently,
fucking
Nancy
picture in the
Grace
Google
was
Doc is
in
killing me.
some of our initial answers in podcast 12, so not much has changed.
Probably. I mean, she never changes, so you have to always tell her to shut the fuck up.
Pierce Morgan, Joan Rivers. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking celebrities who just need to never talk again.
I want David Cage to stop making video games. So he can just stop now.
Peter Molyneux.
Beyond Two Souls happened. Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe couldn't carry your shit writing, so you can just give up. You can just stop. This is it. The train's over.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, that guy needs to know. And Rush Limbaugh, of course, because he can't stop talking. So,
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mention.
Honorable. Oh man.
Oh, Bam at this point can shut his trap too. God.
I don't even listen to any of this shit going on anymore. I have disconnected myself completely from
Just
the
fuck-
news. It's like
Good.
the only
Best thing
things
you
that I
could
All I
do.
see.
know is that we're in the process of a transformation as our war chief has just been killed. So,
Yeah, I do really agree with a lot of Garrosh's policies, and I'm glad to see it.
Oh man,
I did really like that press conference with Overlord Sourfang telling me about all of these NSA policies going on where they're looking at my bank. They're looking at my bank tabs now. What's going on? I don't understand. All it is some transmog gear. What the fuck are you looking at?
I'm actually gonna always put on a side note CS:GO is the game every week because I've never seen so many people come in the chat and be like, "Where's the CS:GO?" No other game has ever done this.
People saying I need to shut the fuck up on
Fine,
Twitter.
right
You
now.
can unfollow me, you idiots. It's not that hard.
There's a
And
button.
if you follow like the KBMOD contributor list, then fucking block me. I don't care. Like,
He's a raccoon.
If
He
you
has
follow Blacklight and you don't expect to just see a rambling about whatever,
Yeah,
then
you're doing
what the
it
fuck
wrong.
were you expecting?
that's your fault, man.
The other day, Blacklight goes on this whole fucking tangent talking about Kael'thas Sunstrider from World of Warcraft.
Dude, you
Just
kidding me?
talking-
That fucking voice actor, though?
talking about his voice actor, but he did it for
him.
like half an hour to an hour of tweets. It was amazing seeing that shit. How many people actually
tells a
care? that
story.
follow you? Exactly.
Pro tip: you don't follow Blacklight, you follow everyone around Blacklight, and they'll just retweet the good stuff.
There you go.
Wow.
That
Brandon's really good at that, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, next question. The St. Jimmy asks, "What is one video game IP that you think needs to die?" That's how he typed it. Hard mode, no Call of Duty. My choice
I
is
like this hard mode.
yeah. My choice is Resident Evil, which is a great suggestion.
Yeah, that's
Medal of
a
Honor.
great fucking choice. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
John
Yeah,
says Medal of Honor.
Yeah,
that's
Medal
also-
of Honor is even worse than Call of Duty because they keep trying and failing.
and it's
Like,
just
Call
so-
of Duty makes a game that people actually play to a
It's
certain
at least
extent.
competent enough that people like to play it, but
Yeah.
Medal of Honor, no.
Medal of Honor, just please end your life.
Trying to think of some other series out there.
Resident Evil would have been my choice, actually.
Yeah, Resident Evil.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
really
really good
hate
one.
how Resident Evil has gone over the years. It's awful.
Yeah.
Silent Hill. Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, you want a new one?
said that.
Like a reboot?
I want Silent Hill to just go away. They've completely shit all over Silent Hill.
Wow.
It's fucking terrible.
I'll take Silent Hill. Final Fantasy.
Yes.
They
I-
need to
that-
just scrap, and just get back to making actual Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, like do one or the other. Either stop making these bullshit games or go back to what was good. Go back to RPGs. Not these weird sort of like pseudo MMO bullshitty fucking guys look like chicks. Everything is way too pretty kind of bullshit. Like, just get back to telling a good fucking story. But that'll never happen because Sakaguchi isn't there anymore. So Square Enix is fucked.
Well,
Why don't you blow him?
What's that?
Why don't you blow him? He
Why
said.
don't you blow him?
I will as soon as Bravely Default comes out. Which is another thing I'm looking forward to in 2014. I forgot.
See, someone said Assassin's Creed, and you could have said that before 4 came out. And then
Yeah.
4 was apparently really good, so you can't say it anymore.
Decent enough to keep it around for a little longer.
Yeah. Sonic the Hedgeman is a good
Ooh.
idea.
Ooh,
I mean,
Smokey
maybe.
even with
I
the
mean,
racing
Sonic has
game?
had some good games. Sonic has had some good games.
They've
recently.
churned out some decent games recently, but Sonic will forever not be as good as it used to be. It is
Yeah,
a fundamentally flawed concept for a video game, and it's not the 90s anymore. Sonic can't exist outside of the 90s because he's full of bullshit batitude. That didn't work as soon as it
I
rolled
just
over to 0-0.
Attitude.
Hold up.
Did you just say bullshit batitude?
Yes. He
That is
has the
something like
90s
that,
batitude. He has that sass that was only cool in the fucking 90s. And you either have to completely reinvent his character and then it won't be the same character anymore, or you keep trying to shoehorn it in, which is what they've been doing, and it creates the most awkward, painful to watch bullshit fucking dialogue of all time.
Did
It just
Garrettson
doesn't
just sub to us?
Yeah, he did. Garrettson.
Nice.
Jared Garrettson.
Jared?
Welcome, sir.
Out of
Revive Special Forces, Garrettson, please.
He is.
Please.
It's called Phantom Army. It's coming out soon.
Yeah.
He just
I think-
hate donated.
I don't think Sonic can exist outside of 2D for me.
It definitely can exist outside of 2D, but only not because the first two Sonic 2D games or 3D games were bad. Well, the second one was pretty bad, but it's an age past. It's definitely an age
Do
past.
you want a gritty reboot of Sonic?
We do
No,
want
they've
that.
tried that.
They
I
tried,
want
yeah.
Sonic in a
Really?
dark
They
alley.
need to stop
smoking-
making Zeldas that aren't on fucking handheld games. Just stop. They all piss me off.
Just make Link's
This
Awakening.
is going to make a lot of people mad, but stop making Metal Gear Solid games. Go fuck
Yes.
yourself. I'm done.
Kojima.
I don't
you're
think that many
nuts.
people are gonna be made mad.
No,
by
I
that.
don't know if people will be mad.
Can't.
I
Kojima's
used to say that on Machinima Online. People would be like, oh my god. I'm like, no. Just stop.
Kojima's insane though. He's
Well,
complete-
because
I
at
think he's-
least
I mean, his
well, 'cause
tactics set
some
looks
of these
great,
some of these series that you're naming have decent releases that came out, you know, in the last few years. Like Revengeance is not a bad game. Why would you want Metal Gear to go away because of
Revengeance
Revengeance? It's a great game.
Vengeance isn't a Metal Gear game. It's
But it's
just,
not a-
Still,
Yeah.
It's got the fucking Metal Gear name on it, so I'm
That's
including
though.
it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't know.
But that's not.
Zelda's been shit since fucking Wind Waker. You heard me. Get fucking.
John.
Get mad, unsub, go away.
Twilight Princess was great if you played it on GameCube. It was shit on Wii.
a lot of things were shit on Wii.
Well, look at all the hate for
Here
the
it
Metal
comes, bathe in it, become one with
Slit
it.
your wrist vertically. It's a pretty strong response. To loving watching fucking 16-hour movies made by someone that couldn't write his way out of a wet paper bag. That motherfucker. God, that shit is so convoluted and terrible. I'm telling you, man. I like Metal Gear for what it was. Like, I understand. Like, I've gone on this rant before, but God, dude, it's just way too. It's just not my cup of tea. It's just not my thing.
On your Zelda thing, I watched him as that Majora's Mask dude done. That game looks like garbage. Just saying. Ocarina of Time was great. Majora's Mask.
That was Majora's Mask. I liked Wind Waker a lot too, but Twilight Princess. That was the end of it for me. It's terrible.
You cutting that one, Brandon?
We know the answer. There's not going to be. I don't feel like there's
I
going to be.
think
much
there's two
discussion here.
answers, but
Okay.
that's okay.
All right. All right.
The One Lonely Geek asks, when do you think the golden age of PC gaming was?
It's coming.
We haven't reached it yet.
Listen, it'll
It's-
never
it's
be here
soon.
because who wants to buy a Steam box? Can we talk about that real quick?
Every
Can we
platform
reference
is
that
united in
happened?
architecture right now. It is now.
I think it was the mid 90s till about 99, with Doom and Quake still prevalent and Duke Nukem still out there, and then you had Blizzard with StarCraft, and then Half-Life came out in 99 as well, and Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 were during that time. I think that 95 to 99 right in there. Or you could say it was when Doom in 92 to 95, you could say is then as well. But
This is
And I
such a
think
it's such a hard
there
question.
could be a third option, though, and that would be 04 when Half-Life 2 came out for the next couple of years after that. But part of that was
Everyone's
because
answer to this question will be so biased because, like, for me, the golden age of PC gaming was like late 90s to early 2000s. But that's partially colored
live-
by the fact that that was like when I discovered first-person shooters,
Yeah.
and that was
It's a
also
very
the golden
personal
age of
question,
first-person
yeah.
shooters. So
yeah. But I mean, 04 had WoW come out, Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 11, which you may not think it was a big thing, but like the fact that that game was a thing that ran on PCs at that time was pretty amazing. Counter Strike, Source, all and Half-Life 2, all in 04. And then you didn't have the Xbox 360 till 05, and then the PS3 till 06. So you had a couple of years there where it was a pretty good time. But
90s kids, am I right?
wow, Garrettson, then what's the answer, dog?
Actually,
One
that was
game
Andy.
It's like when BLR came out, bitch.
That's what. No,
Well, in
I
that
don't
answer
think.
form.
I don't think we. I think we are in our. I think we are in our golden age right now, and we are living it.
I would say
I don't think it's past.
No,
that's
I'm
a-
not allowed to be happy with anything that's going on right now.
Yeah,
so
we
it's-
can't. Like, look at this shit. Like the list of games coming out, and like the fucking the digital distribution, and fucking buying games for 25 cents on, like that shit. I don't know. To say that we're not in it now, to me, is a little insane.
Well,
know.
I would somewhat agree with you, but that part of that was solely due to this console generation lasting so long,
Yeah.
so that people were like, well, everything's better over here. It's part of why we started doing this.
Yeah.
But
Silver
yeah.
Age.
the silver age.
We're in the Silver Age, according to Jared. Fair enough.
All right, Fat Attack.
Daylight will be the start of a golden age.
Daylight, yeah, Unreal
That's
4. Fat Attack 82 asks, if you could make your own Swiss Army knife, what would you put in it?
It's one of the fucking greatest questions
It's
I've
a great
seen asked
question,
on this
and
podcast.
Great American Challenge.
Yes. Amen.
Matt, you
Back
have to
last
have a
week.
flash drive, certainly.
Flash
I
drive,
certainly
yeah.
have to have.
A knife,
Yeah,
opener, and a 14-inch dildo.
A 14-inch dildo and
I
a
think-
USB stick full of cord. That's all you put on the.
Well,
Swiss
you also
Army
have to
knife.
have a pocket pussy attached. I think a pocket
There-
pussy.
Yeah,
the
I
Great
think
American-
in the interest of gender equality, we have to have a pocket pussy.
Yeah,
Or
totally.
else we'll
It
be
should
hearing
be-
from Anita.
That's right.
And then a cat to stick your
Jesus.
finger in every once in a while.
That's true. Yeah.
Very-
So your
very
Swiss
good,
Army
yeah.
knife is like barely gonna fit in a suitcase.
It's not gonna fit in the suitcase. It's got the fucking Great American Challenge. Actually, yeah,
Not
it might.
fitting in me either.
Not in my carry-on. It's not fitting. Oh my god.
Andy, I'm gonna get a coupon book for the struggling bros.
Shit.
You could put a Raspberry Pi PC in the Swiss Army knife. If we're going with the Great American Challenge, you could probably fit
Yeah.
Steam box on that thing at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, you definitely could.
I feel like
Real.
really
Could
it's like
not-
for me it's just a flash drive. Flash drives are always good to have on your keychain, but having that more integrated would be nice.
I'll tell you what you can't fit on there, an Xbox One. You can't fit.
Well, you could. It's just not very portable at that point.
No, I mean, it's like even less portable than the Great American Challenge was.
You have to
Well,
put
at
it
least
up.
with the Great American Challenge, you can put it up your ass, and then it becomes very portable because then you've stowed it away in a
That's
predetermined slot.
That's true, but it takes some practice. To get to that point.
You do have the lube up time,
You
and
actually have to warm up with smaller dildos, so it's
yeah,
a little bit.
learned last week.
it takes about an hour before you're walking out the door, but it's worth it.
You can't even fit the Xbox One in like an SUV. So that
No.
let alone, yeah, we'll just end it there, I suppose. I'm putting the Great American Challenge on us. I mean,
I do agree with that. The Raging Brett calling Brandon out for his USB thing. He's like, when you're in the woods, a USB will be super helpful. and I would say the same.
You
with the
imply
Great
that I would
American
go to the woods without a laptop. Hilarious.
Challenge. Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Not to mention, I mean, Swiss Army knife. I carry my pocket knife around all the time for just random things, and I almost never go in the woods. So,
Yeah.
just walking
The
around.
problem with
the
a Swiss Army knife is you can't take it on a plane. And inevitably, I've had like 4 or 5 different ones that I used to take with me just on my keychain. Not even knives, but just like multi-tools. And eventually those will get taken from you. So I got tired of
Yeah.
having TSA decide randomly that like my little multi-tool is gonna hurt people.
Sorry, I'm just reading chat. God damn it. A porta potty is a good idea. But that's it.
Fucking K9.
Yeah.
I can't. The Great Canadian Challenge is trying to say sorry with the Great American Challenge in their mouth.
Dear God.
No apologies when you're playing with the Great American Challenge. There are no regrets with the Great American Challenge.
It's true. That's what makes it American.
That's the end of episode 125. You can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/KBMOD, twitter.com/KBMODgaming, youtube.com/KBMODgaming, and of course here on Twitch. Please give us a follow if you are new to the stream or you haven't hit the follow button yet. We stream every single day of the week, and now Tornado Will Smith has been added to the fucking document. Next week we'll be talking more in depth about Steam Dev Days and what they did there, and also just video game stuff with Dave Oshry, Gunner Guru, and dude who